Welcome to the 700 Club Canada. I'm Brian Warren.
And I'm Laura-Lynn Thompson. It's great to be with you today.
It really is. We've got a special show as more celebrations continue for the 70th anniversary of Israel's signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Today we're featuring some of the stories from the powerful new documentary series called To Life.
In this series, you'll meet Israeli men and women who are making an impact around the world.
Each of these stories shows the power of love and how it can overcome anything, even thousands of years of fighting and religious animosity.
It's powerful. We'll take you to the shores of the Greek island of Lesbos to meet one team of Israeli doctors who are the first responders in treating Syrian refugees who have been drifting out at sea for days.
And you'll see how another team of Israeli doctors are bringing hope to the most vulnerable victims of the war in Syria.
But first, this is the story of one mother who had seen enough violence and wanted to do something good. This is To Life, Spring of Hope.
Enjoy.
Today is a painful day for the Yazidis of Kurdistan. It's the 3rd anniversary of the genocide of their people. On August the 3rd, 2014, fighters from ISIS, or Daesh as they're called in Arabic, invaded the Sinjar region in northern Iraq, the ancestral home of the Yazidi minority. Some 200,000 Yazidis fled Sinjar. As many as 4,400 were massacred, and another 4,000 to 10,000 were kidnapped, forced to convert to Islam, tortured, and sold into slavery. Those who escaped are now scattered across Kurdistan, living in refugee camps. Today, they mark the beginning of their 4th year in exile. Some are weeping. Most are silent. All of them are wondering when the world will take notice. Standing with them is an Israeli woman who has dedicated her life to helping them however she can.
Who wants to intervene with a persecuted, unknown minority group in the Middle East? My conscience will not let me sit at home. Although out of my depth more than ever, I said I cannot walk away. Why the Yazidis? I ask myself questions and I don't have answers. The roots of Springs of Hope are really deep in the Intifada of Jerusalem, where my eldest son in 1998 was serving as an army officer in Beit El on the borders of Ramallah. He came home from the base one day, took a lift with a civilian who had been working on the base, and they ran into a group of 20 to 30 Hamas students who had been lying in wait for 2 hours waiting to kill an Israeli soldier, and that happened to be my son. Now, really thanks to the goodness of God, my son was not killed. I got a phone call to say he was in the operating theatre of Hadassah Ein Kerem, beaten to a pulp. Just about every bone in his body was either broken or fractured. They tried to pull out his eyes, broken his skull, and overnight, in 1 second, as happens to every terror survivor, terror walked into our house and our life changed.
4 years later, Lisa's son was in yet another terror attack. This time, a suicide bombing in Jerusalem's Cafe Moment. He survived, but 11 others were killed.
It was within a couple of years that my kids had been in other terror attacks in Jerusalem, and I felt a rage inside me. I think there's something in me that says, the milk is spilled, now how are we going to clean it up? And on the basis of conscience screaming, do something, I grabbed friends and grabbed a lawyer, and I said, this is Springs of Hope Foundation. And we just jumped in with the terror survivors of Jerusalem.
It was here in the Sharia refugee camp that Lisa got her first look at the women who had been kidnapped by ISIS.
We had worked since 2002 with victims of terror in Jerusalem, specifically widows and the younger kids that had fallen between the cracks. I had also been doing research for many years on the global funding of terror. It was 6 months after the beginning of the Yazidi genocide in Sinjar and Shingal, 3rd of August 2014. I begged, insisted, pleaded that we come up here, drove up to Sharia camp, walked around Sharia camp, flew back to Israel, and I was wrecked. I was just undone. I think I just jumped in pretty stupidly without knowing what I was jumping into, and realized that we had, as Israel, a small role to play regarding the women and the kids who are coming out of Daesh. I went into Sharia camp, which was then 22,000 and bursting at the seams, totally overwhelmed. If the UN can't cope, who are we to even dare to think that we can, a drop in the bucket? But when I began to meet the women that were coming out of Daesh and helping to take off their black robes and shower them and put a new dress on them, I realized that here we could help, and that would be our place of tikkun olam.
From the beginning, Lisa made it a point to identify herself as Jewish.
If I cannot live as a Jew, and if I cannot be here as an Israeli, I cannot be here. I cannot hide or deny who I am, and I believe it's because we're a Jew and we were called to be a light to the world. That's the reason I'm here. That's the reason I'm here. And for me, with the background of terrorism and trauma, Israel is the lead in the world. So if I'm going to hide this, then I'd rather stay at home and have an espresso and hang out with my friends and with my kids.
Laura-Lynn, Lisa is an amazing woman. And to see her own son, every bone in his body broken, fractured, and, as a parent, and to still keep a soft heart, that takes a lot.
Right. It takes an amazing relationship with our God to be able to deal with some of the, atrocities that happen in life.
You're absolutely right. And when you think about the Yazidi people, we hear a lot about it here in Canada. We've done things on In Focus, and we've had an opportunity to talk about it. But I don't know if any experience and even hearing the news about them has impacted my heart so much as this piece.
Yes, very difficult, very hard to watch, hard to understand, and reminds us, what a great life we have here, and yet to see that kind of pain. It's hard to, to deal with all of it.
I think more than anything, we don't have a vocabulary for what is taking place, but what we do know,
frame that.
To frame that. But what we do know is we can't stand on the sideline. We've got to do something. So I pray that as you're looking at this, and as we celebrate the 70th anniversary of Israel and independence, that we would all begin to rise up and say, never again. That this is unacceptable. This atrocity must stop. Because everything in my heart, just reaches out, and you just want to say, hey, what can we do? And I pray that it does the same thing to you, because it's just really wrecked my heart.
It has, and thank God we serve a just God, and nothing gets past him.
Amen. And that's the hope that we have as well.
That is the hope, absolutely. We'll be back later with another amazing story as a team of Israeli doctors enter the war zone in an effort to save the life of a young Syrian girl who was born with a hole in her heart.
But first, another sneak peek for our second story from life to life. It's called The Island of Tears. Man, I gotta get that one under control.
Since 2011, hundreds of thousands of Syrian refugees have arrived on the Greek island of Lesbos, hoping to find a new start in Europe.
We see babies which are only a few days old people at the age of 90, 95 even. And we get mainly people from Syria, also from Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran.
Waiting to help them are the last people the Syrians might expect, volunteers from Israel.
My name is Tali Shaltiel. I'm here with Israel, an Israeli-based NGO.
My name is Majida Kardosh. I'm here as a medical team. I work as a nurse.
My name is Iris Adler. I live in Tel Aviv. I just finished med school in Tel Aviv University. I came here through Israel to be on the coast as a doctor, as a member of the medical team of Israel here in Lesbos.
My name is Manal Shhadi. I'm from Nazareth, and I'm the team lead of Israel in Greece.
The team is a mix of doctors and nurses, both Jewish and Arab.
I am a Palestinian citizen of Israel. Arabic is my mother tongue. I'm also Christian, so I'm a minority inside of a minority inside of Israel. Being aware of my history, my background, where I come from, the history that my people went through, this is something that appeals to me, and I can help refugees. So this is my job, and this is what I should be doing.
Our job here is to receive the boats of the refugees that are coming from the Turkish side to the Greek side. There are many, many volunteers on the beach, not many medical teams. So our job is, first of all, to help them get out from the boat, get to the beach safely. Most of them come here dehydrated and in hypothermia. Sometimes the journey takes many hours, and they get here very wet and cold.
On the line from the Turkish side, they're going through a lot of problems. Their smugglers there are asking them to pay between $1,000 to $5,000 per person. A lot of time they're just shoving them into boats that should fit 50 people, but there are 150 people on the boat. They just leave them midway through the sea and they tell them, you find your own way to Greece, we're not responsible on you. Or they fill like half a tank of gas and they just leave them in the middle of the sea.
What we do is go to Hind Point with binoculars, searching and scanning the water, and you start looking for this black with orange dots in the view. And then it comes nearer and you start seeing the rubber boat and all the people on it. It's like 1, 2, 3, it begins. It's a few minutes of chaos. Taking off the babies, people screaming, shouting, helping them, you know. A lot of them don't know how to swim, they're afraid from the water.
Here is the point that we start doing a triage, a very fast, by hearing, they're talking, looking at the refugees, so we can see who is in need of medical help. And I start shouting, "Min baddu doctor," who need a doctor in Arabic. And so this is the time that we start giving treatment.
I've treated a 14-year-old Afghani guy that was unconscious. He didn't receive aggressive treatment on the shore, on the spot, he might have not made it.
After that, we start giving them food and water, warm clothes, something to eat, to drink, because some of them didn't have any water or food for like 1 or 2 days. After that, I take the map. We have a map that we translate on it in Arabic, explain to them what is the next step. They don't know where they are, okay? So the first thing that I tell them that they are in Lesbos island in Greece, because some of them, they had like no idea where they are. Most of them, they had nothing. They just come with their clothes only because they had to throw their bags in the sea, or smugglers took their bags and threw in the sea.
After a couple of days of assessing the field, we understood that the biggest need is a way to communicate with the refugees who come. So we brought a team from Israel, which is Arab-speaking, and the effect was amazing.
Hearing your language is very important to them, and then getting the instructions where to go, what to do next, what are the next steps because they have a lot of uncertainty.
Although Israel and Syria are technically at war, none of that matters here on the beach.
You know, when you see the heart of these precious servants, it really gives you encouragement that God is doing something special in this generation. And whatever the news looks like, there are people that care and are also making a difference, real time. You know, this is a documentary that I applaud Gordon Robertson and all of those who were a part of this project, because I don't know if I've been affected and impacted with such magnitude of feelings and thoughts and everything else. I think what it was that hit me is I remember my ancestors being slaves, and one of the statements that were made is, before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave. And to see that slavery still goes on today, and understanding that people are treated like human chattel. I saw that 60-year-old man just crying with that rush of emotion, and that man that wanted to give biscuits because Israel Aid helped him. In his language, they needed to hear the truth, because he said, you know, what does it matter who they are? They want to help you. And then he came back and he said, I'm sorry. You know, if you'd like to get your hands on this, it's only $10 or more, your best gift, to help us continue to carry this life-changing message, and we'll get that to you right away. We want to partner with you. The number is 1-855-759-0700. I'm still moved by this. It's shaking inside, but you need to get your copy. I'm thanking God for my copy, and we've got more coming up. Syrian infant's life hangs in the balance as Israeli doctors rush to fix the hole in her heart. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
Violent aftershocks rattle that region. We know that every minute is critical if we want to find survivors.
She already had damage to the lungs.
They just come with their clothes only.
It's breaking my heart.
This makes the surgery even more difficult.
There is blood on our hands if we know and we walk away.
And I think that God wants me here because he wants me to help these people.
I can help refugees, so this is what I should be doing.
I think that's not only our privilege, but our duty.
No matter which religions he have, which color he is, what language he talks.
When people need us, we come and help.
The common language is that they're human beings.
We can't just sit back and watch what's going on.
This is how changes start.
Every year, thousands of children are born with fatal heart defects. Many live in countries where the life-saving medical care they need simply doesn't exist. Like this 2-year-old girl from Syria. Niyaz was born with a hole between the 2 major arteries in her heart. And without surgery, she will die.
She has a very rare defect. It's very difficult to diagnose, actually. And I think this is why the diagnosis was made so late in life. This is a diagnosis usually made just after birth and should be treated within the first few weeks or a few months of life.
Niyaz's condition went undiagnosed because she and her family live in a Syrian refugee camp. Her mother has risked everything to find people who can save her daughter's life. She made the difficult journey through Syria, Iraq, and Jordan, then handed her daughter to the only people who were willing to help her. People she had been told are her enemies.
I was afraid to come to Israel at first, but the most important issue was my daughter's health. It was more important for her to receive the care she needs.
The doctors and nurses who are caring for Niaz are all Israelis. They work for an organization called Save a Child's Heart, and their mission is to provide free surgery for children with fatal heart conditions. Since 1995, doctors from Save a Child's Heart have operated on more than 4,000 children from 48 developing countries. Children who would otherwise have died.
Well, Save a Child's Heart, the belief is that every child deserves the best medical treatment that we can afford to give. Today, Israel's in a situation that Israeli children get all the medical care that they need in the field of heart problems. And therefore, we consider it our duty to reach out and help others around the world. And we talk about reaching out and helping others around the world, then we first of all always look to our neighbors. And when we look around ourselves, we see a Middle East which is troubled, which is in need. And when we look to the south, we see a tremendous need in Africa. Every child deserves the best medical treatment that Save a Child's Heart can give, and it really doesn't matter what religious background the child comes from. That is the motto of Save a Child's Heart: a child is a child.
These surgeons have seen the world's toughest cases, but Niaz was especially challenging.
When she arrived to us at the age of 1 year and 10 months, she already had damage to the lungs. This makes the surgery even more difficult.
The surgery took several hours, and afterwards, Niaz needed several days of follow-up care.
What we saw in the echo following surgery is, although she came late, the results were amazing, and she will have a normal life. She can do sports, she can get married and have children, she can go to university first, she can become a doctor, whatever. Her prognosis right now is that of a normal child. She would have died in infancy. Not in adolescence or an adult, she would have died in infancy. We took a child with no prognosis and we turned her into a healthy child.
Wow. This is an absolutely incredible series. It's so amazing to watch all the incredible things that are being done. And it's my understanding that Gordon Robertson, had asked the question, why do they do this? Why is all of this being done? And routinely, the answer was, it's because it's who we are. It's who we are. That's the heart of the Father. In Luke 18, verse 15, the people were also bringing babies to Jesus for him to place his hands on them. And when the disciples saw this, they rebuked them. But Jesus called the children to him, and he said, "Let the children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. Truly I tell you that anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." Children are so special to God. And the fact that, the hearts of the Israelis are reaching out to these people in such a beautiful way, giving them life back, it's really staggering. It's very, very moving. Well, whew, that was good. You know what? We'll be right back. Stay with us. We'll have more.
Tikkun Olam.
This is our nature as a country.
To make the world a better place.
Literally, we felt the earth shaking.
The Christian Broadcasting Network presents To Life, how Israeli volunteers are changing the world.
This film needs to be seen by everyone.
I was in tears.
Now you can own the inspiring documentary To Life on DVD.
I'm so grateful that this film was made.
To Life can be yours for a gift of $10 or more.
welcome back. You know, this is a great title to a wonderful DVD, To Life. And that's what we're here for at the 700 Club Canada. You know, as I've been looking at this, Laura-Lynn, one of the things that just keeps bubbling up in my spirit is Hebrews 13:3, where it says, remember those who are in prison, as though you were in prison with them, as though those who are mistreated, since you are also in the body. And it's what Gordon said, and I heard that loud and clear when you spoke. It's who we are, because we're in the body, that we care, and we cannot turn a blind eye.
Yes, and this has been emotional, you know, for both of us. I know it's really hit you
got
hard.
my tissue right.
Yes, he might be a big guy, tough guy, but soft on the inside, Brian. And it's been hard. It's been hard actually to see this, but to see the love of God. Isn't it what it's about, is that, you know, the Father's love through us compels us to reach out, to go beyond the ordinary, you know, to do above and beyond. And that shows everyone, even those that aren't of the faith of the God of Abraham, that, wow, there's something here, and even end up, you know, apologizing.
Well, it's
to
so
people.
true. And it's the father heart, and it's my heart as a father, as a husband, as a pastor, as, you know, it's just watching this. But, you know, in this amazing documentary series, you'll see the real heart of the Israelis doing the humanitarian work, and you'll also see the incredible heart reaction of the people receiving their life-saving help.
To Life, it's powerful. It has the ability to change perspectives and hearts. Through this film, you'll discover that prophecy is actually still being fulfilled today.
It really is. You know, the number to get your copy is 1-855-759-0700. As Isaiah prophesied, he said, you will be a light to the nations. And we'd like to get this into your hand for your best gift of $10 or more. You can get your copy of this amazing DVD documentary, and I believe that it's going to also call you to action as well.
Yes, I think so, absolutely. Thank you for joining us today. It's been wonderful. We want to leave you with the power verse, Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight.
God bless.
God bless. To contact us, phone 1-855-759-0700. You can email us at cba@700club.ca or write to us at Christian Broadcasting Associates Incorporated, the 700 Club Canada, P.O. Box 700, Scarborough, Ontario, M1S 4T4. You can now like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter or Instagram. On tomorrow's show,
when Chadwick and Jelana Walsh met in 1991 on the campus of Oral Roberts University, their chemistry was undeniable. But by their 12th year of marriage, the pressures of life seemed to mount all at once. They lost their first home when Chadwick was laid off. Jelana lost her father to cancer,